All right, here we are back for number 2 in M&T Bank Stadium, starring the Baltimore Ravens and hosting the Cleveland Browns. These are the collapse teams of the year. A couple of the biggest collapses of the season. Cleveland Browns lost a game to the Jets, led by Joe Flacco. Gave up 2 touchdowns in the final 2 minutes. Onside kick, everything. And the Baltimore Ravens blew a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter against the Dolphins. Blew a 17-point lead against the Buffalo Bills. And blew, was it a 3-point lead? Against the New York Giants. Which team will blow the lead? Well, let's check at the stats and see who pulled it off. And obviously the score is on the bottom. So you can already see that the Baltimore Ravens pulled it off. Yay! Woo! The wicked passing stat line. Lamar. 9 for 16 for 120. Brissett was there. He did a thing. He played. Brissett played well in this game, actually. A big change in the game is really just the turnovers. And the Ravens tried. My God, the Ravens tried. They attempted. They dreamed of another fourth quarter loss. But they held them off on defense. Shockingly, they held them off on defense in the final. Actually, they missed a field goal. And then they held them off on defense, but the field goal was very far. It was a fun game. I don't understand how the Ravens can't close out football games. You have Lamar Jackson, the best running quarterback in the history of football. Lamar Jackson, let's go back a little bit. A little history for you. Lamar Jackson rushed for 1,500 yards in 2 separate seasons in college. He has the record for most rushing yards in a season. He will very quickly catch Michael Vick, if he has not already, in rushing yards. And you can't close out a game? You can't run the clock out. You have the worst 4-minute offense where you're just trying to get first down, get a first down, get a first down. Up, we're going to fumble it. Are you kidding me? How do you have these leads? How do you have these leads? How do you have these leads and lose games? It doesn't make sense to me how the Baltimore Ravens are so terrible. And they won this one, but it wasn't because of the offense. They fumbled it. They fumbled it with how much time left? 3 minutes and 20 seconds on Cleveland's 24. On second down. I was watching the highlights, and they were chopping up the field. Lamar Jackson up the middle, 10 yards. Hill, right end, 5 yards. Hill, right end, 3 yards. Andrews up the middle on 3rd and 1, 4 yards. Keeping the ball moving. Hill, 5 yards. Edwards, 4 yards. Just the absolute worst for the Browns. And you chopped it all the way down. You started with the ball with 9 minutes. You get all the way down to the Cleveland 24. And you fumbled it. Fumbled it? How? The Ravens are good. They have a good quarterback. They have a good coach. They get leads in the beginning of games. And they have the second best running offense in football behind only the Eagles. They're the best rushing quarterback in history, and they can't win these games. Can't all in football. And Jacoby Brissett cannot win football games. 22 for 27, 258 is pretty good. You got Nick Chubb. Chubb is so good. He reminds me so much. All I can think of, maybe it's just the uniforms, but I think it's the running style, right? He is Jim Brown. He is so powerful and fast, and hitting him, he's not as, I wouldn't say he's as shifty as, say, Saquon Barkley or something like that, but I would say he looks so scary to hit. My shoulders hurt seeing, like, defensive backs try to hit him in the quads, because I feel like that would be like tackling a sequoia tree trunk. Just an immovable object is Nick Chubb's legs and torso. Just Nick Chubb. He's the equivalent. He's the human equivalent of a sequoia tree. Unbelievable. But the Browns are in their ridiculous predicament. They can't get the ball on third down. 2 for 11 in this game. Absolute nightmare. 2 for 4, both teams in the red zone. You think with the rushing to be able to get it in the end zone, but I don't know what's wrong with you, Baltimore. I think you should easily be considered the third best team in the AFC, but you just are not, and you blow leads. But the Browns are better at losing late than you are, and they don't have a quarterback as good as you do. So Lamar Jackson, 9 for 16, 120 yards. Whatever. It seems like rushing stats. You know, Lamar Jackson, 16 rushes, 120 yards. He had a good day. No, Lamar Jackson, 9 for 16 for 120 yards passing. He did have a gorgeous pass early on in the game, though. Oh, it was right over the shoulder. You know when you just see it? You just see the ball come, and you can just, you know the trajectory. You see the receiver running at full speed. It's just right in there. Oh, my goodness. It was one of those. Those are just the most beautiful plays in the world. Any throw, and you can see the defender is close, but the defender's just trying to keep up, and you just know that the ball is exactly where the receiver can get to in the amount of time they have. These NFL quarterbacks sometimes. My goodness. Well, good job, Baltimore. You finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Keep it up, though. Recover. We'll be back. Now, we'll move on to number 1.